behalf of the Department of Psychology and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, we are welcoming you once again. So, from the Department of Psychology, UG first semester as well as the PG first year, there is a very important topic we are going to discuss about this session, that is the major endocrine glands. The endocrine glands, it is very important crucial role to create, to initiate the behaviors and functions of the person's personality also. In this endocrine glands, we need to know about, we need to discuss about, we need to analyze about the pituitary gland, then hypothalamus, then adrenal glands, then thyroid glands, then pancreas, then pineal glands and also parathyroid glands. These total all the topics will be covered the total end of the session. In this regard, we are invited the expert of the subject biology with psychology related, the person Dr. Tirupati. He is from Karimnagar, the assistant professor, Government Degree College, SRR, Karimnagar. So, Tirupati, welcoming you for this session, and we are explaining, we are expecting these total endocrine gland systems and definitions, about the total glands with the behavioral functions, how it leads to the person's personality in future endeavors.
Thank you, Dr. Narsimlu sir, for inviting me as a resource person, and also the Department of Psychology, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad, Vice Chancellor, and the entire organizing team. So, this is Dr. Padala Tirupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, SRR Government Arts and Science College, Autonomous Karimnagar, and also I completed my MA Psychology from Usmania University, Hyderabad. So, in this regard, I would like to explain about the major endocrine glands structure and functions. It is nothing but the understanding the chemical messengers role. Today, the most important topics we will going to discuss here, the definition of the endocrine system, role of endocrine glands maintaining homeostasis, overview of major endocrine glands. The endocrine system is a network of glands that produces the release hormones which regulates various bodily functions like respiration, metabolism, reproduction and the other homeostasis. Unlike the exocrine glands and endocrine glands which are the ductless glands which does not possess any vessels. So, that is why these hormones directly connect with the bloodstream, allowing to reach the target organs effectively, and each of these glands physics a crucial role in maintaining the body's equilibrium by influencing psychological processes. Disorders of the endocrine system such as diabetes, hypothyroidism, adrenal insufficiency can significantly impact on health and also human behavior. This is a foundational understanding of the endocrine system and its major glands. Further exploration includes hormonal mechanism, feedback loops and clinical implications. And the definition of the endocrine system is a complex network of glands that produce and release hormones to regulate various physiological functions including growth, metabolism, reproduction and homeostasis. Unlike the exocrine system and endocrine glands are the ductlets and the release hormones directly into the bloodstream, allowing them to reach target organs and tissues throughout the body. And what are the role of endocrine glands in maintaining homeostasis? The key endocrine glands, their role in homeostasis: hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, gonads. These are the different endocrine glands which impacts on human body and also the human behavior. Hypothalamus acts as the body's control center by regulating the release of hormones from the pituitary gland, maintaining body temperature, thirst and hunger. Pituitary gland also we can call as master gland of the human body. Master gland, very smallest gland and big impact on human behavior and the other control over the all endocrine glands. So, that is why the pituitary gland we can call as master gland. Thyroid gland produces thyroid hormones, that is T3, T4. Parathyroid gland maintain calcium balance in blood. Adrenal gland release cortisol and adrenaline. It is releases adrenaline hormone. It is also called as flight and fight hormone. Pancreas, it is most important to release the insulin and glucagon hormones, regulate blood sugar levels and also preventing conditions like diabetes. Pineal glands secretes melatonin, which regulates sleep wake cycles and biological rhythms. Also we can call it circadian rhythms. Gonads contains ovaries and testes of human body. Female human beings contains ovaries and testes belongs to the male human beings. These gonads control reproductive functions and secondary sexual characters. So, I am showing here the entire human beings, male and female body of the different endocrine glands situated or located in different areas of the human body, from the brain or from the head to the lower level of the body, different endocrine glands which we are observed here. Now, we are going to discuss each and every endocrine gland. Number 1, pituitary gland. It is also we can call as master gland. It is very smallest gland. It is controls the other endocrine glands. So, that is why we can call as master gland. It is located base of the brain or hypophysis of the brain of human beings. The pituitary gland again divided into two postures, that is anterior part of the pituitary gland and posterior part of the pituitary glands. The hormone secreted of the anterior part of the pituitary glands, that is growth hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. These are hormones related to anterior part of the pituitary gland. And the posterior gland part of the pituitary gland that is releases oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone. These two hormones related to the posterior part of the pituitary gland. The major functions I am showing the tabular form of the and the image also I am showing here. The center part, that is pituitary gland. This is the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland, the left side I am showing, this is the anterior part of the pituitary gland. It secretes ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, growth hormone and the melanin stimulating hormone and thyroid stimulating hormone. These hormones are released from the anterior part of the pituitary gland, whereas the posterior part of the pituitary gland, that is antidiuretic hormone and also the oxytocin and other hormones which we are observed in this image. The table shows about the anterior part of the pituitary gland, that is growth hormone and adrenocorticotropic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone and prolactin, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These are entire hormones are related to the anterior part, whereas the posterior only two hormones we are observed here, that is oxytocin and the vasopressin. Also we can also call as antidiuretic hormone, ADH. The next important endocrine gland, that is hypothalamus. It is located below the thalamus of the human beings or brain, in the part of the brain. It is act as a link between the nervous system and endocrine system. Nervous system and endocrine system, it is a link that we can call as hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus secretes hormones releasing and inhibiting hormones, that is TRH and the other the somatostatin hormones and control over pituitary gland. And next gland I am showing here, that is thyroid gland. It is located about our neck and also the around the trachea of the human body. the major hormones secreted from the thyroid gland, that is thyroxine. It is most important hormone which is also regulates the metabolism and energy production, and also the controls calcium levels of the human beings and other living organisms. Here the thyroxine hormone, that is T4, and also the diothyroxine, that is T3, and calcitonin, these are the three hormones released by the thyroid gland. It is most important gland located at our neck and also around the trachea. And next important gland, that is parathyroid gland. The parathyroid gland, it is located behind the thyroid gland, very nearer to the thyroid gland. So that is why this we can call as parathyroid gland, and it secretes parathyroid hormone or parathyroid hormone, also we can call as parathormone. These major function of these parathyroid glands are regulation of calcium levels and phosphate levels in the blood. So because of these calcium levels and phosphate levels, our bone or the bone strength is depends upon the parathyroid gland secretion of the parathormone. Next important endocrine gland, that is adrenal glands. These are situated about the or located about the above of the kidneys or top of the kidneys, which looks like a caps of the kidneys, two kidneys and two adrenal glands, each one is located on the top of the kidneys. So that is why adrenal glands are also divided into cortex and the medulla. The cortex region of the adrenal gland releases or produces cortisol, aldosterone and androgens. These are the hormones which secretes in the cortex part of the adrenal gland, whereas the medulla part or medulla region produces epinephrine, that we can also call as adrenaline. This adrenaline hormone also we can call as fight and flight hormone, and the second hormone of this medulla region, that is norepinephrine, and the functions of these adrenal glands are the adrenaline, that is stress response, metabolism, immune response and blood pressure regulation. So that is why the adrenal gland also we can call as most important hormone, which is useful also whether when we are defend other person or whether defend an enemies and against the other organism. Adrenaline hormone is useful, that we can call as fight hormone. If we are unable to fight the enemies or against the other person, we are escape from the external environment, that we can call as flight mode. So this fight and flight mode is controlled over by the adrenaline hormone. So that is why the adrenaline hormone we can call as fight and flight hormone. The next important endocrine, that is endocrine gland, that is pancreas. Also my dear friends, remember the pancreas also called as mixed gland. That means it is acted as a digestive gland and also it is acted as a endocrine glands, whereas the ducts area includes the digestive glands, whereas ductless glands it is included in the endocrine area. It is located behind the stomach, that we can also call as beneath the stomach, and it is looks like a leaf like structure, pancreas. And the endocrine part of the pancreas we are called as islets of Langerhans. These area releases the or produces the hormones. Most important hormones are insulin, glucagon. Insulin is most important hormone which is used for lower blood sugar levels of the human beings, and glucagon, it is the quite opposite to the insulin, that we can call as rise. It is useful for rise blood sugar levels in human beings. And the another endocrine or another hormone, that is somatostatin, it is regulates insulin and glucagon. It is in between the insulin and glucagon. The major role of this insulin, it controls the diabetes of the human beings. It is most important function human beings because the majority of the human beings nowadays they are facing diabetic problem. So these diabetes control over by the islets of Langerhans or the insulin hormone. Next important gland or important endocrine gland, that is pineal gland. This pineal gland location deep in the brain near the thalamus. My dear friends, remember the pineal gland, it is most important gland to absorb the circadian rhythms of the human beings entire life cycle and also entire day to day life activities and regulation of sleep wake cycles, whether when we are going to sleep or when we are going to wake up. These day to day life functions or metabolic activities, whether the increase or the low rate of the activities due to these circadian rhythms caused by these melatonin hormone. These hormones secreted by pineal gland, it is located or situated at the deeper area of the brain, very nearer to the thalamus. So, we can absorb, we can perceive, we can receive the signals through time, space and dimensions. So, and also my dear friends, dreams and our during night time we are also absorbed, we are enjoy the dreams due to these function of this pineal gland release the hormone secreted, that is melatonin. Okay, these also we can call as circadian rhythms. Next we are going to discuss here most important gland, that is the thymus gland. The thymus gland also we can call as the child gland or the baby gland. It is located about the behind the sternum. It is very near to the heart of the human beings. This thymus gland is secreted thymosin or the thymosin hormone. The major function of this thymosin hormone, that is development of the T lymphocytes, and it is increases the immune response. My dear friends, remember the T lymphocytes are the most important blood cells. The T lymphocytes are affected in the disease, that is HIV AIDS. So, the viral disease or the virus, that is human immunodeficiency virus, or the AIDS virus or AIDS disease affected most of the affected blood cells are affected immune system, that is T lymphocytes. So, T lymphocytes are most important to increase the immune response in human beings. So, this is depends upon the hormone, that is thymosin hormone secreted by thymus gland. It is located about the behind the sternum. Next important endocrine glands, that is gonads. These gonads gonads are here two types, that is ovaries and the testes. Ovaries are absorbed in female human beings and testes we are absorbed in male human beings. These two are belongs to the gonads. These gonads also controlled by the pituitary gland. We know that the ovaries secretes or secreted hormones or produce hormones are producing hormones are estrogen and progesterone. Major function of these ovaries, that is female reproductive health. So, the female reproductive health depends upon the ovaries, function of the ovaries or function of the estrogen and progesterone hormones and menstrual cycle regulation. Majority of the female human beings, they are facing different problems due to the malfunction of these ovaries, or even though the functions of the hormones estrogen and progesterone. And the another hormones, another part of the gonads, that is testes. This testis belongs to the male human beings. These testis are released hormone, that is testosterone. This testosterone function is male reproductive health. Female reproductive health is depends upon the estrogen, whereas the male reproductive health is depends upon the testosterone hormone. These two hormones are released by gonads, and also the release of the ovules and ovaries, or even though the sperms production secondary sexual characters of the both male and female human beings caused by the actual function, the adaptive function of the gonads. So, that is why gonads are most important organs, the variation or separation of the human beings, whether they are belongs to male or whether they are belongs to female, due to the cause of these gonads or ovaries and testes released by estrogen progesterone in female human beings and testosterone in male human beings. So, this is the major difference of the gonads, and the function also most important, whether the adaptive function of the reproductive of the human health by this gonad function. And I am showing here the gonad hormones by ovaries and testes. The above image shows about the female reproductive organ or female reproductive system, in that the ovaries, two ovaries are observed, left and right ovaries. These two ovaries are release the ovum each and every month, but alternative month, if left ovaries released one ovum from this month, the right ovaries release ovum for next month. So, this is the best division, work division we are observed in the ovaries. It is controlled over by the estrogen hormone. It belongs to the gonads or the ovaries, and the below the image we are observed, that is belongs to the male reproductive organ. We are observed the blue color, that is we can call as testis. The testis are released testosterone hormone. The testosterone hormone, which is very important to the male human being reproductive health. So, that is why the gonads function is most important. I am going to here recap the major endocrine glands and their function, importance of the hormonal balance, role of endocrine glands in overall health in a tabular form. In this tabular form, each and every endocrine gland location, hormone secretion and function I am going to explain here. Number 1, hypothalamus. Hypothalamus location is in the place of brain, and hormone secreted, that is releasing and inhibiting hormones, and inhibiting hormones from the hypothalamus. The major function of this hypothalamus, that is regulates the pituitary gland and hunger, thirst and temperature. This is about the hypothalamus. And the second most important gland, very smallest gland of our human body, that is pituitary gland. This pituitary gland also we can call as master gland of the human body. It is located in the brain part of the human body and the below the hypothalamus. These pituitary gland again divided into two parts, that is the anterior part and posterior parts. I am showing here different hormones released or secreted from the pituitary gland, that is growth hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, prolactin, oxytocin, antidiuretic hormone. These are the majority of the hormones are secreted by pituitary gland. So, that is why, and also pituitary gland control all the remaining endocrine glands. That is why the pituitary gland we can call as master glands of the human body, master gland of the human body. It controls growth, metabolism and other endocrine glands. Then next one, the thyroid gland. It is located about the neck region and also the around the trachea of the human body. The most important hormone secreted by our thyroid gland, that is thyroxine T4 and T3, that we can call the tridiothyoxine and calcitonin. These three hormones secreted by thyroid gland. The major function of the thyroid gland is regulates metabolism, energy production and calcium balance. So, calcium balance is most important for the bone strength and muscle strength. So, that is why thyroid gland also most important, and our metabolic rate also depends upon the thyroid gland function or thyroxine. Even though the small little kids and also the younger age people and adult people also facing the thyroid problem or hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism due to the excessive release of the thyroxine, hyperthyroidism, or the low level of the thyroxine hormone released by the thyroid gland, we can also call as hypothyroidism. So, these two are most harmful to the human beings. So that's why the adaptive thyroxine is most important. The thyroid gland function depends upon the iodine. Then next one, parathyroid gland. It is very nearer to the thyroid gland or behind the thyroid gland. So that's why we can call it as parathyroid gland. It is released hormone, that is parathormone or parathyroid hormone. It regulates or the controls the calcium and phosphorus levels in the blood. So calcium phosphorus levels is most important along with this the thyroid gland, that is the bone strength and muscle strength function, adaptive function of the muscles and also the bones. Then adrenal glands. These adrenal glands, it looks like a cap like structure of the top of the kidneys. So the adrenal glands are 2 in number, which is located each one in each kidney of the both kidneys of the human body. It regulates or it secretes hormone, the cortisol, adrenaline and aldosterone. These 3 hormones secreted by adrenal glands. So that's why the adrenal glands also most important. It is also called as flight and fight hormone for the external stimuli. These regulates the stress response, metabolism and blood pressure, BP. Then pancreas, it is also we can call it as mixed gland of the human body. Ducts area, it is released the digestive glands, and ductlets area released hormones that we can related to the endocrine system. These ductlets area we can call it as islets of Langerhans, and it releases the insulin hormone and also glucagon. These insulin and glucagon, it is important to control the blood sugar level of the human body. So if the balance of if insulin is low level of the insulin release of the human body, the human beings are facing diabetic problem. And the pineal gland, last one is pineal gland. The pineal gland, it is situated the deeper region of the brain. It is released melatonin hormone. It is useful for the circadian rhythms, our day-to-day life activities, whether we are wake up or whether we are going to sleep. This is under control of the pineal gland. And ovaries, testes, ovaries females and testes are belongs to the male. These 2 are most important for the reproductive system of the human beings. So this is about the today's major endocrine glands structure and functions. So this impacts of our human beings, whether the adaptive release of these hormones, human beings are very active, and behavior is also most impact on other human beings and other social activities. So thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity.